Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in today and checking out our review video of the Shure PGA27, a at-home studio-grade cardioid condenser microphone. First thing I want to mention here today is, if you haven't noticed, this thing is very unique looking. I love the design of this microphone. I think Shure went through some extra detail in just coming up with something that gave it a little bit of a different look to it, so that way, if you're using this for anything that's in video production, you've got a nice, clean looking setup that is just pretty darn cool. As far as what's in the box, you will get your microphone, you will get the shock mount that comes along with it, a 5/8 to 3/8 inch adapter, and you'll also get, my favorite part is this nice leather pouch that they provide. This thing is molded foam. It's actually a really nice touch from Shure. It's one of the only products in this price range that I know that comes with this actual full kit here, and I love it. Talking about our use case today, I have to say that this is definitely a microphone that's designed for studio type of environment. It's super sensitive, and it's not something that I think people are going to want to use for streaming all the time, gaming, anything that they're going to be doing any kind of movement, or if the microphone's going to have any activity. Saying that though, I think it would be really, really good for somebody that's playing instruments, drums even, or just doing vocals inside of a booth or something like that. This could be a fabulous microphone for what you're looking for. As far as technical specifications, this microphone does have a frequency response of 20 Hertz to 20,000 Hertz, an impedance of 115 ohms, a sensitivity of -35 dB, and of course, as is with most condensers, requires 48 volt phantom power. For those that are interested in the detailed specifications, I will provide a link to the actual documentation from Shure down in the description of the video. Now for a Plosive test here today, we're actually going to do this twice, once with the standard settings and then once with that roll-off switch activated, so that way we can see if there's any difference in the way these plosives get captured by the microphone. So with this test here, as always, we will be doing raw audio with the microphone. We'll be using a cloth pop filter and a metal mesh pop filter. So here we go. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. And Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. And Peter picked lots of peppers from Paul's patch. Now for our polar pattern test here today, I am just going to start rotating the microphone as is normal with my test. Unfortunately, I have to kind of move my head this time since this is not straight up and down on the stand. I want to kind of keep the same distance as I'm doing this. But we are looking at a just standard polar pattern. The documentation does reference the actual frequencies that it cuts out, so you have an opportunity to see how much that impacts. But we just wanted to have a chance to show you exactly how much rejection, as I'm sitting here on this 270 or opposite 90 here, how much is actually rejected or coloration, or how much is impacted by the audio based on the pattern of the microphone. And now we're going to go with my distance test here. I'm about arm's length away from the microphone now. In an untreated space, the further you get away from your microphone, the more reverberation or reflection has an opportunity to get back into it. So as I have to talk louder to keep the levels up, more has an opportunity to bounce off of different objects in the room. And now as we come back in, we're just going to say that this thing does have a pretty strong proximity effect. And I have to be very, very careful because from what I remember, this is a super sensitive capsule. So I'm talking almost off, almost 90 degrees off of the capsule here to keep from plosiving right into it. But I'm little worried that it's still going to get there. Proximity effect on this thing, I remember being very strong. I remember that when you get really, really close to it, and I'm almost whispering right now to get that effect and get that little bit of deeper tone in my voice, that it definitely comes in strong, and that it's definitely something. I mean, I'll listen when I do post here, but just something to think about. And now I'm going to do a shock test. Since this microphone does come with the shock mount in the kit, I'm going to actually do it with the tapping on the microphone stand. Now I do have my XLR cable attached to the stand as well, Velcro to the stand here with a strap. So the XLR cable vibrating will induce some noise, but I'm actually tapping on the shock mount here, seeing how well it does, and then we'll go and hit the bottom of the microphone, tap the XLR cable, and tap our way up the sides of the microphone, hit the front, and see how that just impacts the sound. Now we're going to work with our roll-off switch here. I've applied it to the microphone, and you're just going to kind of see how much that changes the actual audio as you're talking into it. One thing that these roll-off switches are great for is if you're in a room that has a lot of just ambient muddiness, air conditioners, refrigerators, things like that, that roll-off switch can do a really, really good job at just hiding some of that noise or just cutting it out and doesn't allow it to get drawn up in. But sometimes that cutoff is a little early for people with lower or deeper voices, that it just kind of thins your voice out a little too much. I haven't really noticed it with this one, but it's one of those things that you just have to kind of play with and see how it actually impacts how you sound. So we've now applied that minus 15 dB pad. You'll probably see that I got pretty quiet. And you're going to ask yourself, what am I going to use this 15 dB pad for if you're not used to it? And mainly what that's used for is if you're recording a really loud sound source. If you're using this with a guitar amp or drums or something along that line, then what you want to do is you want to apply that minus 15, because those are already substantially louder than recording vocals. So it's something that you can set it next to your guitar amp, hit that minus 15 dB pad, and still have it in control, so that way it's not just completely clipping and completely blowing out the capsule of the microphone. As far as my final thoughts here today, I do just want to say that I really like the PGA27. I think the microphone here today is very good. It's very front forward. It's got a really, really good natural sound to it. The one thing that I will say is that it is very sensitive to plosives if you don't have that high pass filter turned on. And then once you do have the high pass filter on, it really thins out your voice. It'll come through great in a mix. If you're recording something with a commercial, you're gonna have music, you're gonna have instruments, you're gonna have audio in the background. It allows your voice to really carry through and not get, lost in it. But I just wish it had a little bit more depth to it. If you were doing a podcast or a narration, I don't necessarily think it'd be your best option. But overall, definitely worth the $200 price tag that Shure has on its website. And then even if you could find some way to secure it off of eBay for $100, it would be an absolute steal. I think this could be a really, really good microphone for you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video here today. Hope it's what you guys were looking for in this review of the Shure PGA27. If you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them down in the comments. If you guys like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. We'll check you next time.